Welcome to what is a very wet Massa Marittima in Italy, and we've come all this way to check out Canyon's brand new e-bike range. So first off, we're going to take a look at the brand new Canyon Grand Canyon On, and it's looking rather cool. Let's go and have a look at the bike. So yeah, the first bike we're going to be looking at is the Canyon Grand Canyon On 9, and this is the range-topping bike in the lineup. And the Grand Canyon is a bike that's designed to be mega versatile, but aimed more towards new riders who might want to take this on more mellow trails or do a little bit of commuting on it. And it's spec'd perfectly for it. So at the front we've got the Fox AWL fork with 120mm suspension. But what's really interesting about this fork is that it's designed to house the Bosch's and Migura's ABS system. So yes, we've got ABS front and rear. So we've got a complete aluminium frame, and the geometry's been updated. I'm not sure exactly how, but I'm told that there's around a 65.5 degree head tube angle. So that is, yeah, proper modern. And we've got a nice low stand over there. As for the spec elsewhere, we have those Migura MTC brakes. And yes, here is the ABS system bolted onto there, which then joins to these brakes, which is pretty cool. I've given it a very brief squeeze, and you can definitely feel it working. It feels like it's feathering a little bit, especially when you just haul on that front brake. Elsewhere we have Schwalbe knobby nick tyres. You can't complain with those. They're in Addix, the Addix compound. And as for the motor, so let me just flip this bike around really quick. We have the Bosch Performance Line CX. So that's the latest CX motor from Bosch. We've got a 750 watt-hour battery in there, so that's plenty for a lot of riding. And yes, here we have that lever with all the adjustments. And we've got a bunch of modes. And yeah, so the ABS only works when the battery's on. Obviously, it's very much like a car, so it senses what's going on. Let's say you're about to lock up the front wheel, it will just stop you from doing that by feathering the brakes. And it will also sense if you're just about to go over the bars, if you're braking too hard, and then again, it will let go of the brakes a little bit. It also works in tandem with the rear wheel with whatever's going on there. What else can we talk about? So we've got a full dropper post. Looks like 150mm drop to me. And yeah, so we're going to go ride this bike a little bit later. Hopefully this rain stops. But yeah, we're going to do a bit of a social ride. I'll bring you some first impressions on this bike. And something that I forgot to tell you about is that this bike comes with full app connectivity, as you'd expect from most e-bikes, but it has a really cool anti-theft system. So it activates via Bluetooth, and if someone were to come to nick your bike while you've got it on, it will make a huge fuss. You won't be able to turn the motor on, and you'll get a notification telling you that someone's moved your bike. Again, for this kind of audience, that's a really cool feature. Okay, let's go do some riding. Yeah, that ABS only really cuts in when you're proper braking. So you don't really notice it when you're not proper braking. But you know, the kind of riding we're doing here kind of shows this bike to be mega versatile. So like, I'm having a great time, having quite a gentle ride, and this is what this bike is built for. Just to do a bit of everything. You know, done some single track, it hangs on, you can ride it quick, which is pretty cool. And yeah, it definitely feels more like a mountain bike that you can take commuting. You know, if you want one bike to do a bit of everything, yeah, this is probably it. Does a great job. So yeah, while I can't say exactly what the geometry is on this bike at this time, I'm told that Canyon has made it a bit more progressive, so along the slack are lower, and yeah, in turn that makes it just a bit capable. And I've got to say, it's a pretty pleasant climber. Granted, it is a hardtail with a big old motor bolted into it, but you know, geometry again. Seat tube is rather central. Let's see what this guy did. Yeah, it's just comfortable. I can't really complain at the moment. But then something I will complain about is the price. So it's about £4,300, euros, thereabouts. And it is a hardtail. And you know, for that money you can get, you know, for not much more you can get an alloy high bike, full suspension, with a bit more of a rad geometry if you want to get a bit more rowdy yourself. But yeah, you got to think about the money that's gone in to get you that ABS braking system. But then again, if you're spending that kind of money, you got to think how serious you are about riding. I think more serious riders don't need to rely on ABS for good braking. And I won't lie, that ABS does extend your braking zones a little bit more. But whether or not it's faster, that's up for debate. So yeah, you've got to think about that. If you are going commuting, carrying heavy stuff around with you, it might be a fantastic idea, the ABS brakes. Just have to think about that. So that extension under braking, or when the ABS is kicking in, yes, it extends your braking zone a little bit, but that is only when you're braking proper heavily. But then, you know, if you're doing something quite steep, you know, let's say you're dropping into a steep catch berm or something like that, you know, it will extend that distance. You have to like rethink what you're doing a little bit before it just pings you off that side of that berm. But yeah, I think for like in general all around the bike, you can't really complain. And if you're new to doing brakes and stuff, you know, it'll help you, or it'll keep you from going over the front of the bars, and it will just hopefully help you learn how to brake properly, because you know when it's coming. Something I forgot to mention is that this bike comes with all the mounts you'd ever want, so you can put some bags on it, you've got rack mounts, and what's cool, you've got a kickstand mount. So yeah, that just boosts this bike versatility even further. But yeah, that is the Grand Canyon On. It's a pretty versatile little machine, so we're talking it's just a workhorse. It all really appeals to those who want to commute, but also want to take their hardtail out on the trails. It's good. It's got like it's a solid, well thought out geometry, so the front end is nice and easy to steer, and it's plenty long enough for any off-road antics. You won't want to push it too hard, because again, it is that versatile workhorse all round the kind of thing. But it's a great fun little bike. Again, it is a bit expensive, but okay, you've got to think about what you're getting with it. But yeah, that is Grand Canyon On. So we've just ridden the Neuron on, so that video will be coming very shortly. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in the next one.